Welcome back to the Revolve Kitchen, where we make good food the right way. I'm here to teach you all about how to make the most delicious and nutritious food so you can heal your body using food as medicine. And today I'm going to walk you through my 3 favorite foods to have on hand during cold and flu season. So here in the Northern Hemisphere, we're going into winter. I'm wearing my coziest sweater, I'm drinking hot chocolate, but this also means that we're getting into the time when we're exposed to more viruses. We might get some more headaches, sore throats, colds, and flus. Honestly, for the past few years, since I've been eating a nutrient-dense diet that really limits processed foods and prioritizes the most nutrient-dense foods, I haven't gotten sick in years. But it's normal from time to time to come down with a cold or a flu. And when we're sick and healing is the time that is so important to nourish our bodies with nutritious food. So instead of relying on highly processed instant soups or takeout that are not going to give our bodies the nutrients it needs to heal and maybe even prolong our healing, here are some things that you can keep on hand that's really going to nourish your body and speed up your recovery process. First, I'm going to walk you through my super simple chicken soup recipe. Then I'll show you a very easy snack to have on hand. And lastly, I'll show you the best hack for the winter season: lemon, ginger, and honey cubes. First up, chicken soup. This is a cold and flu must, right? Not only is it super delicious and comforting, it also provides some really great benefits to help us heal. The broth provides great fluids and electrolytes to keep you hydrated, and you get some protein and micronutrients from the chicken, and then some antioxidants if you add some veggies and some fresh herbs. So there are a million ways that you can make chicken soup, but I like to go for the easiest. You'll just need a large pot, add your whole chicken, and then I like to add a pound of chicken feet for extra nutrients in a gelatinous broth. Add in any veggies you'd like. I like onions, carrots, and garlic. Celery is also a great addition. Then you'll just cover the chicken with filtered water, add a couple tablespoons of salt, cover it with a top, and bring it to a boil on the stove. Once it's boiling, turn the heat down and let it simmer until the chicken is very tender. The drumstick bone will easily slide off. That's when you know it's done. I usually go for about 2 to 3 hours. Then let the soup cool down completely, and I'll take the chicken out of the broth and use my hands to remove the meat from the bird. You can stir the meat back into the broth for a chicken soup or store it separately in a glass container if you want to make other meals with the meat throughout the week. I also remove the skin from the meat and the bones, and I'll season it with salt and crisp it up in the air fryer or oven to make some nice chips. This is nose to tail eating. We're using the whole animal. Once you've collected all of the meat and the skin, you can then use the chicken carcass and the chicken feet to make another round of bone broth by covering the bones with filtered water and pressure cooking for 2.5 hours, or just simmer it on the stove for another 8 to 10 hours. And if you want to store this soup in the freezer to be prepared for if you get sick, make sure you let it cool completely and leave some space if you're using a glass container, because the contents can expand and crack the glass. Okay, chicken soup, check. Let's move on to a delicious snack that's very nutritious but also easy to eat. These are cherry and electrolyte gelatin gummies. I love these all year round when I'm sick or when I'm healthy because they pack a great punch of nutrients from the grass-fed gelatin. But these are especially useful during flu and cold season, 1, because they're super easy to prepare, and 2, because they're easy to eat. Because I don't know about you, but when I get sick, my appetite goes away, I start craving weird things, nothing sounds good to me. But these are super delicious and easy to eat and quite soothing. So for max immune boosting function, I like to use tart cherry juice as a good source of vitamin C. And then I also like to add some electrolytes because, as I mentioned, it's important to stay hydrated when you're sick. Start off by blooming the gelatin. Add 2 cups of juice to a bowl and sprinkle a 1/3 cup of gelatin over top. Whisk this up until it's completely combined and set it aside. Now in a small saucepan, warm 1 more cup of juice, and I like to water mine down with a cup of water, but you can also just do 2 cups of juice if you'd like. Then add in the bloom gelatin mixture and stir together until combined. Stir this all over the heat for a couple more minutes, then remove it from the stove. Now if you're adding electrolytes, now's the time to stir a few scoops in. I like to do 2 scoops of Redmond Relight, Finally, you're going to add this to a glass baking dish or a glass storage container and let it set in the fridge. Once they're completely set, you can store these in a glass container in the fridge and snack on them as you'd like. Okay, we've got our soup, we've got our snack. Let's move on to a super healing, super soothing drink that I like to prepare and keep in my freezer. So I'll say it again, it's super important to stay hydrated when you're sick. So not only do these lemon, ginger, and honey bombs make it more fun to consume liquids, they're also super soothing. The honey is great for sore throats, and the ginger can quell some nausea. And it's a super simple recipe. All you'll need is some lemon, some ginger, and some raw local honey. To a blender, you're going to add the ginger. I keep the peel on and I just scrub and make sure it's nice and clean. Then I'll peel a lemon and add that in. Finally, add a tablespoon or two of raw honey and blend it all until it's fully combined. You can strain this mixture if you prefer a more smooth consistency, or like I do it, just pour it directly into small ice cube molds. You can store these in the freezer, and when you're ready to use them, just add it to a glass of warm water or melt it into your cup of tea. So there you have my 3 favorite recipes to have prepared during flu and cold season. Go whip up a batch of the delicious and easy chicken soup and keep it in your freezer for the time when you start to feel run down. And remember, the best way to prepare for flu and cold season is to eat a nutrient-dense diet all year round so that your body is nourished and as healthy as possible. And if you want to learn more about the basics of sourcing and preparing and eating a nutrient-dense diet, check out my full course that will take you step by step through everything you need to know to start cooking like a nutrient-dense chef at home. You can learn more with the link in the caption. And I want to know, what are your favorite meals to eat when you're sick? Let us know in the comments.